Hello, everybody, and welcome to Accounting 1 Fall 2023. This is an online course, so an asynchronous, meaning that we don't have any specific meeting times. So there's some particular challenges and opportunities with that model. We will be, let me go over to our Moodle shell here. And we will be today taking a look at our shell. And we will be taking a look at the portal that we're using that comes with your textbook called Connect. And we'll take a run through the syllabus and I'll explain how the class works. And hopefully that's going to take 10 minutes or less. And then you can get started on the material. So welcome. I'm excited to have you. It's as I said earlier, it's got a few challenges to set up a class with this kind of technical content in an online environment. So let's just jump in and I'll show you how it's set up, and then we'll pop over and take a look at Connect. So you can see we're going to be covering 8 chapters. This is the first in a 2-part financial accounting series. There's Accounting 1 and Accounting 2. And so this is the intro to financial accounting. So you can see, obviously, you're in this page in Moodle or you wouldn't have found this video. So hi and welcome. What I'd like for you to do before the first day of class, which hopefully you saw this in my welcome email, is get your syllabus downloaded, get your book, register for Connect, which is the online portal. And then very importantly, I know we all have different ways of planning out our weeks and our time. Calendar every week, and however you make your day timer, 2 to 3 1.5 hour slots. So per week to study and work on Accounting 1. It is not a class you can cram. It's more of like a persistent effort. Like I'm gonna, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 to 10:30 is basically my time to work on Accounting 101. It will serve you well to pencil in concrete times for this course. I've been doing this since 1987. I started teaching at Cal State Chico. I've been here since 1994, and I can just tell you that that's basically the best way to do the class. So please introduce yourself. There's a place to put your bio by August 31st. And whenever I assign anything, it is due by 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if there's any announcements, they'll be in here. This is the welcome video that you're watching. And here's the syllabus. And then here is the, oops, I forgot to change the date. Here is the bio that I want you to complete by August 31st, which is to introduce yourself, and then I give you some prompts to answer. So you will go in there and introduce yourself for 10 points by the 31st. So each unit hereafter is all set up the same way. So this one's kind of the anomaly, the start class here. The rest of them they'll tell you what date it begins, and all of them except for the last 2, I believe, are 2 weeks each. So here's how they're all going to be set up. So I identify the outcomes for the class, the conceptual outcomes. In other words, theoretically, what are you going to need to know how to do? Analytically, what are you going to need to know how to do? Or what am I hoping that you're going to be able to do when we're done with the chapter? And then procedurally. So there's 3 different types of outcomes. And then importantly, here is your task list. And they're very, very do this first, then do this, then do this. So I've got taped lectures, multiple taped lectures for each unit. And I tell you how long it's going to take so that you can allocate that amount of time, right? And hopefully, I mean, all of them are under the 1.5 hours that I suggested. So for example, for chapter 1, you're going to listen to lecture 1, which is down below here. It's a 43-minute tape or YouTube. And then you're going to do quick study 1-11. Sometimes the ebooks have different page numbers. So QS stands for quick study at the end of the book. E stands for exercises. So you're going to do these. The items out of the book are not for points. That's how you learn the accounting. There's really no way you're going to pass the class if you just listen to the lectures and go straight to the Connect homework. So this is if we were working together in a classroom, I would lecture and then we would do these, right? And then we would go over them. So you do these out of the book and then check them against the solutions manual, okay? And here is the solutions manual, right? So none of this is for points so far. This is just absolutely to be learning the material. Then listen to lecture number 2, which is only 13 minutes, and then do the lab. So now you're going down and going, oh, here's the lab. So chapter 1, lecture 1, chapter 1, lecture 2, chapter 1, lecture 3, and I tell you very clearly what order to do those in, right? So follow the tasks, and again, each of those you're going to do in a different day. I mean, you're not going to sit down and do these all at once. So, and I say that again, no, you should allocate a couple different times to work through the lectures. It will not be sufficient to only allocate an afternoon, for example. Then when you've done all this prep work, which would be the equivalent of you coming into class, if we were having synchronous class, then you're going to go on to Connect and do your reading quiz and your chapter homework. Let me pop over now so that I can show you what Connect is, because this is where you're going to, get the points. So when you click on that link so that it says get your ebook and Connect card here, it will take you to McGraw-Hill Education, which is the publishers of your book, your ebook, and you will get Connect access as well. And then you're going to come in and you're going to see, oh gosh, there's some different items here, right? There's chapter quizzes, which are the reading quizzes. There's chapter homework. There's special practice sets. There's only 3 of those, right? There's 8 chapter quizzes and 8 chapter homeworks, only 3 special practice sets, and there's 4 exams. So all these items are mandatory. Those are all basically the points of the class. The concept videos are in addition if you need more reinforcement after you listen to my lectures. So when you're ready to take a quiz, it tells you when they're due. So the start dates are all at the beginning of the semester, and due September 5th, 14th, 30th, October, et cetera, all 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And so this is where you complete that work. So when I say do the reading quiz, do the chapter homework, the due date is on the syllabus, and then you go into Connect to do it. So just to reiterate, there's nothing you can see to turn in on Moodle. You're doing the work up top, and then you're going into Connect for the points. So you can just see everything. I'm not going to go through all these, obviously, but chapter 2, now we're moving on to analyzing reporting transactions. Every other chapter, there's an exam. You can see this one, it's 2 weeks long, but you've got a 52-minute lecture, you've got a 1 hour, 17-minute lecture, you've got a lab to do with me, then you do the reading quiz, and you do the chapter homework. Every other chapter, you have a special practice set in Connect, and every other chapter, you have an exam in Connect. So allocating time for that is important. And then it says all your Connect due dates are identified both in the program that we just looked at and on the syllabus. So let's go back and take a peek at the syllabus. Is down here, and I've already loaded that. So I'm going to pop over so you can see the syllabus. We're going to spend a few minutes going through that. So this is a three credit class, and it's all online, as I'm sure you can understand by now. I'm Lisa Swallow. I'm a CPA and a CMA, certified master's, certified managerial accountant, and I have an MS in accountancy. I'm on the River campus here at University of Montana, Missoula from 2 to 3 on Mondays and Wednesdays in room 408. Or you can set up an appointment. And I would also just want to reiterate, I'd love to work with you one-on-one. If you say to me, boy, I'm really struggling with the concept, can we do a one-on-one Zoom? I am always going to be available to do that, and I want to do that. Here's my office phone and my mobile phone, my email address, 3 credits, no prereqs. I've already gone through the course description. Basically, or I'm sorry, I haven't already gone through it. Here's the course description, which is where it's a very intro to financial accounting, learning how to look at a business, analyze, journalize, post, and ultimately do financial statements. If you struggle with Moodle, I'm not the one that's going to be able to support you in that scenario. In that scenario, you're going to UM Solutions Center, and also here's their phone number to get you to iTech and to brainstorm that. Again, the required material is the ebook Fundamental Accounting Principles. We're going to be doing the first 8 chapters, and your Connect access code. And this is obviously the same link as what was on the first page that says start here. To be clear, you're in a special scenario called inclusive access, which means that the fees for your ebook and your access code are added to your registration bill so that people don't have to come up with additional money after they've registered to get materials and then they don't have it, they get behind. This is a program that's provided through the University of Montana bookstore, and the discounted price is included in your course fee. If you want to get your materials somewhere else, if you want to opt out, here is the instructions to do so. And here is the email of the gentleman at Barnes & Noble College who is at the University of Montana bookstore that can help you opt out. So the course format, I've gone over that. I've got your tasks all identified. We've taken a look at the Connect platform. If you have any problem with Connect, again, I'm not the tech support person for that. I've given you a number for customer support there. If you're not getting resolution, certainly I can reach out to our contact person, but this is the first thing that you should do to try and resolve Connect issues. So I have 2 free passes for the reading quizzes and 2 free passes for the chapter homework, which means I knock out the 2 lowest grades. So if you miss them, if you get a really low score, okay, that's just what happened. We don't need to have any discussion about it. You'll see them entered throughout the semester, but when I do the final grading, I will pull out the 2 lowest chapter homework assignments and the 2 lowest chapter reading quizzes. There is no free passes on the special practice sets, and there are no free passes on the exams. It's fine if you want to study together, but obviously you can't test together. And there's all sorts of little algorithms that help me see that. So please don't do that. So test policies, I have the tests are open for a 24-hour period. You have to take them within that 24 hours unless there are extraneous circumstances. Here's your grading system. So your intro, your 6, it ends up 8 chapters minus 2 free passes, 6 reading quizzes, 6 chapter homeworks, your 3 special practice sets, your 3 regular exams, and then your cumulative final for the 4th exam. And it's a straight A, B, C, D, F, 90, 80, 70, 60. And then here's the general information at the University of Montana. Academic honesty is obviously mandatory and highly valued. Here's the student conduct code. That's what guides our contractual relationship around academic honesty. If you have any accommodation needs, you need to reach out to me immediately. DSS will provide you support and a letter that identifies what your needs are. And of course, I will work with you to make that happen. We have ongoing academic support services through something called EAB Navigator. So it's a digital way to monitor how you're performing and make sure that both your advisor and your instructor and you, all 3 parties, are aware if there's issues and try and intervene and help. We are very committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion here at the University of Montana. And please go ahead and click here. The Office of Inclusive Excellence for Student Success will help guide you along any of these issues that you may have queries on. We also recognize that food shortages and food insecurity is a very big issue for college students. And we have a pantry both at Missoula College and at the Mountain campus. And please feel free to, in a very confidential manner, reach out if this is something that would be useful for you. So please carefully, this is our weekly schedule. Please carefully check the due dates. I would probably print this and have it sitting like, you know, taped to the wall where I do my work. So this first week, August 28th, we're just starting on the tasks. The week of September 4th, we don't have class on Monday. That's Happy Labor Day. And then very clearly, what are the due dates? All the assignments over here are what's due in Connect, the reading quizzes and the homework, the special practice sets and the exams, all due 11 p.m. on whatever the due dates are. These should correspond with the Connect dates in the portal. So you can see we go through 8 chapters. It's lined out pretty clearly. Thanksgiving break is the week of the 20th. We'll have an exam that Monday for exam number 3, and then you don't have any other responsibilities for Thanksgiving week. And then you can see here the last 2 units, chapter 7 and chapter 8, are one-week chapters. And finals week starts on December 11th, and our final is finalizes on December 13th. And it is a cumulative final. So I hope this has been helpful. I really encourage you again to reach out if you need anything, to email me at any point in time and say, hey, I really would like to set up a half-hour Zoom just to go over some homework. And then lastly, I would really encourage you to make sure, as I said over and over, to pencil out 2 to 3 times a week, essentially, to put in the time to consistently keep plugging at this work, because those tasks, oftentimes there's 7 or 8 different tasks for one chapter. So you're going to need all those different times to ingest it, think about it, and move on. So welcome. I'm excited you're here, and have a great semester. Bye.